fight against the status quo makes all them places know. Say welcome to the Ernest Bigot Show. Middle initial K once, not
3 times, fool.
So my buddy, Stephen Crowder, apparently he received a second strike from YouTube for reveling in the death of Ma'Khia Bryant, merely for stating that this large black teenager who was about to stab another individual, and the policeman intervened with her attempted murder by lodging a couple of bullets into her, and he said that it was necessary and justified to do so. That accounts for reveling according to YouTube standards. So this here juicy morsel I'm about to give you, I'm going to be real careful into how I react, because I think that this is much more ironic and wondrous than that. A BLM advocate and city councilman for the great city of Atlanta from my home state of Georgia, who voted to defund the police, got carjacked. Sorry about that. I ain't reveling. I'm thinking about a joke I heard the other day. It was real funny. Yeah. The kids, when they hit the gas, according to the councilman, Antonio Brown, dragged him half a block. He started to speed on up, and I knew if I hadn't let go, I could have killed myself because he was going so fast. That's quite the description there, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of those 2 teenage girls in Washington, D.C. who killed Uber Eats driver Mohamed when they were carjacking him. He had the audacity and stupidity to hang on to his car.
Stop it! Oh my God! Somebody just stole.
She's stealing their car.
You're stealing the car?
Yeah, we called the cops. Call the cops.
So it's his fault. He killed himself, not the 2 evil witches who were carjacking him, tased him, and were trying to steal his means of providing for his family.
Please, my phone is in there.
No.
According to Antonio Brown's logic and the logic of the left, that death should just be ruled a suicide. Now, I suppose the Washington, D.C. DA saw logic in that, because he gave him a sweetheart backroom deal where neither of them is going to prison.
Please, my phone is in there.
No.
Now that we understand the proper way to see this as a suicide, my suggestion is that we completely expunge their records and get restitution for Mohamed Anwar's family for what they had to go through, as he was the one who was committing suicide. It reminds me of the time that someone was trying to stab me in the heart, and I blocked it with this here arm that got the scar right there. That was a near suicide attempt on my part. I apologize to my would-be murderer, if I can even say that in today's political times. He was white, so I might. And the councilman continues stating, I didn't want to hurt him. What a noble do-gooder. I can see that virtue signaling from outer space. It's like the bat signal. I'm virtuous. Now, I have no way of knowing this one way or the other, but I am imagining that the perpetrators of this alleged crime were black. Otherwise, I'm sure if they were white, he'd be hounding the police to find them, and the story would be all over MSNBC and CNN as another person of color victim of the white patriarchy. He goes on, stating that this is a generational poverty issue. Now, I lived in plenty of places of poverty, some within Asia, some in the United States, and I don't ever remember seeing any type of crime like this. It was non-existent. You would never in a million years in a Buddhist society carjack another individual. It just doesn't fly, it doesn't go, it doesn't happen. This here is a result of embracing a different culture, one that values thuggery, one that values and tries to promulgate the idea, like Black Lives Matter has, of disrupting the nuclear family so there are no daddies around. This is a lack of fathers. I'm sure y'all are going to call me racist for that, but I'm just going to stand by that because I do believe that having a male figure in your life makes a big difference. It's also a lack of law enforcement and de-incentives for such behavior, because if there's only upside and very little downside, you're going to continue to train yourself to do that. And these are the types of leaders that you want. This man is running for Atlanta mayor. You want a leader that's going to blame everything but the individual who was perpetrating these here crimes, that argues that there is no self-agency, no self-determination? Me, Ernest Bigot, I wish that if there's a problem, it's my fault. You know why? Because then there's something I can do about it. This is the path that Antonio Brown is paving, the way to social hell, because the only thing that we really are able to control are our own actions. As we abdicate that responsibility and put it on to society, we flounder. And as the individual flounders, society does as well. And Antonio Brown has stated that he will not be pressing charges. So I'm going to make a little prediction here. This car is going to be found, aka it's going to be returned to him in the middle of the night, unless it's at the chop shop already, in which case, it's gone. But if it hasn't, they're going to return it to him. They're going to jump into another waiting car and then flee. And he's going to come out and say, you see, all you need is a little understanding. When these people, they understand that he is an ally, and he will continue to keep the police off the streets and enable them to continue with this horrific behavior. So they're doing it from a sense of gaining some satisfaction that they're sticking it to the system while promulgating and propagating this man's political career. And then he's going to tell you that we don't need no police, and to defund them and abolish them. And then crime in these here areas is just going to continue to rise. That's the way it's going to go. And that's all I got to say about that. Hey, y'all, I'm not really a bigot. I just play one on TV. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I mean that, subscribe and share this video.